Without a doubt, May is always one of the biggest months of the year for me, and this year was no different. It was filled with fashion, travel, and slivers of alone time, but I was constantly reminded about how lucky I am. I spent the start of the month soaking up as much time with my friends as possible before I headed away, knowing I would only be home for 8 days this month. Time is a thief, and the first few days of the month flew by. I headed down to Sydney to prepare for Fashion Week, where I was joined by my family the weekend before. Mother's Day usually falls on the Sunday before Fashion Week, and like the terrible daughter I am, I've been in Sydney for the last 3, so it was nice to dedicate the entire weekend to Mum. My first Fashion Week was when I was 19 years old, still finding myself in the industry, juggling friends, no self-confidence, and a whole lot of social anxiety. This year was different though. For the first time, I felt as though I truly belonged. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by the most genuine girls, which felt so refreshing after feeling disheartened by my experience with mean girls. There were many early mornings and late nights, but I wouldn't change the week at all. I was constantly overwhelmed with gratitude, pinching myself that this is my life. I tried my best to find moments of solitude, but I've learnt to embrace the chaos. I returned home for a few days before jetting off for a week-long trip to South Australia with my mum and dad. Work meant that my brother sadly had to stay home, but my time in South Australia was nothing short of brilliant. We explored Adelaide and Kangaroo Island, soaking up the beauty of this part of Australia, shocked we hadn't come here sooner. My mum and dad are my best friends, and this quality time together was something I would cherish forever. Throughout the month, I started to really notice just how heavy the weight of my anxiety was. I found myself constantly unable to be present, lost in my thoughts, but I was grateful for the change of scenery and the temporary distractions. And if the month couldn't be filled with more flights, I headed straight from Adelaide to Melbourne to see one of my best friends, Maya, where I welcomed the month of June, excited for a slower pace.